Good afternoon, Colin here with Techout, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Otterbox Defender for the Galaxy Z Fold 6. And I've had this case for a little bit of time now, probably about 2 months. I actually picked this phone up, in this case up, a week before I ended up in the hospital with that staph infection. So I haven't had much time to make content on the Galaxy Z Fold 6 because when I got out I was catching up on the iPhone stuff and catching up on some other stuff. And this phone wasn't something that I really bought to review, I just bought it to use it. So I picked this case up from Best Buy with the credit I got for buying the Z Fold 6, and this is not my favorite case. I actually have a really hard time finding cases that I like for the Galaxy Z Fold 6, just because they're usually pretty bulky. If they have hinge protection, they usually have a pretty big, hinge that sticks off. This one does not, because it opens flat, and this goes up flush against the back. But the complaint I have with this case is how thick the bezels are, and I know some people are going to like that for screen protection and stuff like that. I would prefer that they be a little bit slimmer. This piece over here is plastic, and this piece over here is kind of like hard plastic, kind of like the back, but this one is a little bit different just because of the hinge right there. And what I find with this is swiping on the device is very, very hard with like the back gestures. And now on this, you can go ahead and go in here to your display settings and go down to your navigation bar section, your gestures, and you can turn up the gesture sensitivity, so it will increase the area in which you can do the swipe gesture. Now that helps a little bit, but it still doesn't make it the best. I find for doing things close to the edge of the screen, like typing on the left or right hand side of the keyboard, like I said, the gestures and stuff like that are just made harder by the fact that this case sticks up so far on the side. Your finger just doesn't hit the screen in the right spot to activate those gestures accurately, in my opinion. The second complaint is the fingerprint sensor right here. As you can see, the side of the case again is pretty thick, and with it being a two-piece case, there's no cutout up here, so your thumb has to rest right in here to get the phone to unlock. Now the fingerprint sensor resting your finger in there to get it to unlock is not the problem most of the time. It's trying to hit the button to turn the phone off. You either have to really wedge your finger in there, and I don't have very big hands. You have to really wedge your finger in there and press to turn it off, or you have to kind of get your nail in there or the edge of your finger in there to press the button. So that is kind of annoying at times. Now when the phone is open, you can see there is a slight cutout. If they made that a little bit bigger, I think we would have been good. But there's a slight cutout there, and then you can see here we have a really big cutout right here for it, so it's not an issue whatsoever when the phone is open. But most of the time I'm hitting that button, I'm waking my phone up with it closed or unlocking it with it closed, stuff like that. So it's just a pain in the butt to get your finger in there. I don't always open my phone before I start using it. Like if I open it to check something, stuff like that, I usually start out with the phone closed. So I wish that that was a little bit easier to get to. Everything else is pretty good. They do make a holster for this one. Normally the Defenders come with a holster. This one did not. I know the previous Defenders that I got that didn't come with a holster, they gave you a coupon code to get a free one. Again, I did not get that with this one. I don't know if it was missing from my package or if it was something that they don't include. I didn't really care. They're like 15 bucks. If I wanted one, I would just buy one. But I'm not going to use the holster with this one just because it's, pretty easy to slip in your pocket. It's kind of thin, so it's pretty easy to slip in the pocket, and it doesn't really want to fall out, so I don't really need that belt holster. No camera like cutout, or no camera like individual cutouts, just got the one big cutout, which is fine. It is slightly raised, not too much, but it should offer you a little bit of protection. It does obviously give you protection when you put it down like this, keeps the phone from rocking with that camera, with the bump, and then the bump on top of the bump. So that is nice to see. Everything else is the same. You've got your volume buttons right here. They are individual buttons, and they are pretty clicky. And then we have your USB-C port down here. Again, another thing that's kind of hard to get to because it opens from the top. So if the phone is closed, it is kind of hard to get to. But it does open up, and you can get to it right there to plug your phone in. So I know it sounds like I complain a lot about this one. It is a good protective case, but with that comes some of those drawbacks and stuff like that that are just going to make some things inconvenient for our day-to-day use. I usually use this phone without a case. I just put this on because I was moving around with it and stuff like that. So I threw this case on just for a little bit of protection. I usually use the S Pen case I wish this had a little S Pen holder, because the S Pen is pretty thin, and the hinge or something like that, so you can still carry that around. But I don't think Otterbox offers any cases with the with an S Pen holder. So unfortunate there, because you have to use specific cases to carry the S Pen or carry it separately from the case, since it's not built into the phone. But that is the Otterbox Defender for the Galaxy Z Fold 6. I'm Colin with Techout. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Have a great day.